Today on the farm, we're taking delivery of a brand new grain bin. You've seen us around these grain bins in former videos, but those belong to my dad and to my brother-in-law. This one, the new one, is coming out of my pocket. When we erected these two bins here, it's been probably close to 10 years ago, we poured the pad for a third bin. We didn't put the bin up that time. We went ahead and poured the pad because we knew in the future we'd be getting another bin, and so today is that day. The bin has arrived. This bin is going to be a little bit smaller than the other two. It's going to be the same height, but it's going to be a little bit smaller diameter because of the available space still left here on the pad. For those of you who are unfamiliar with what a grain bin is exactly, a grain bin is more or less a piggy bank for farmers. It is a way of marketing your crop out of season. So I can harvest the crop when it's time to harvest, store it in the bin, and wait for the price to get to the price that I want to sell it at, and then you pull it out of the bin and sell it. So it's basically a bank where you're holding money at until you get ready to market that crop. As you follow the price of the commodities, you may pull out one time a year or a different time of year. If you didn't have the grain bin, you would be selling the crop when you harvest it, and the price may not be good at that point. So with the help of having a grain bin on site, you can kind of play the market and sell it when the price is at its peak. The grain bin crew arrived yesterday at lunch. They worked till 6 p.m. and they built a grain bin. They're on the inside now putting the floor down. But the way they build a grain bin, for those of y'all who don't know, they stand the first ring of corrugated tin up on the concrete pad, and then you put these jacks, these hydraulic jacks on it, and it lifts that ring up, and they put another ring up under it, and they lift that ring up, they put another ring under it. And so they start by building the top, and then they put more under it and more under it until the top is way up in the air, and it can keep lifting it as many rings as they have to till they get to the correct height. The one thing y'all missed out on in the time-lapse footage of the bin erection is the very loud mariachi music that this crew has had playing. I've enjoyed it. I like mariachi music. I reckon that's what keeps them motivated, because they have put that thing up super fast in some really tough heat. All right, they've gotten done putting it all together. We'll go over and check it out. I got my nephew Walker with me this morning. You'll notice the door on this bin is not on the front where the other doors are on the other two bins, and that's on purpose. We have the unload auger and the entry point on the back, or actually on this corner, so we can inload and outload on those two bins and this bin all at the same time. If we put this loadout auger, the door is always close to the loadout auger. If we put the loadout auger on the front, then it would mean we could only use one bin at a time. We didn't really want to do that. We wanted to make sure we could unload out of multiple bins at a time. We're already feed in from the front and the back, but now we can unload from the front and the back, so we can try to use all three bins simultaneously if that is ever an issue. So this is what's called a floor sweep. When we start putting our, taking our commodity out of here, our soybeans or corn, it will go in this hole and it will auger out. But once the corn has got low enough, there's no longer corn above this hole, there'll still be corn up around the walls. And so this auger will suck the corn in away from the walls back to this hole in the middle. The floor, you see, is perforated, has little tiny holes all in the floor. And that's because this fan, well, it's not installed yet, but they're gonna hook a large fan right here, what will blow air under the floor and through the corn and soybeans, and it will come out of vents up on the roof, and that will help to dry the corn or soybeans so that they don't get too much humidity in there. All that freshly harvested commodity stacked on top of each other with a medium to high moisture could go through a heat, and it would go bad. It would no longer be any good to me or to anyone I would sell it to. So you got to blow air, move air across that commodity to kind of relieve some of the moisture from there to make it stay just right. And when our temperatures change from hot to cold, it can also cause the commodity to sweat. So we will put on the fans when we have a sharp temperature change or when we're freshly harvesting. You can see the vents up top right here where the air will move through the commodity. But anyway, that's it. That's how you build farm storage, or a farm piggy bank, so to speak. That is the process. I thank all of you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Thank you, dude.
I found a key on the ground.